Martin is the one responsible for insight. Yeah. So I think Martin, we can carry on.
Yes, but maybe I can show some latest adjustments for insights, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes, a short demo. And yeah, then it's all we have all time for questions, for specific questions for yourself. Maybe that's a good thing to do. I will share my screen in a moment. I hope it's visible now for all. If I don't know if everyone has the microphone of the ability to speak with the microphone, but I've also opened the chat. So if you type your questions in the chat, I'll read it as well, and I can answer it here in the group. This is the starting screen for Insights, the dashboard screen. I have selected an internal grower number for Holland, what's used in location Rijnsburg. This screen is not very different what we have added in the last months. It's not visible for this number, but if you do also some trading with a buyer number of Holland, I don't know if that's in case for you. But some growers have also a buyer number where they are buying flowers from other growers and selling them again. And when they do so, they can also see the revenue they do with that kind of trade in this overview. And it's we call that your purchase orders. It are not orders that you're selling, but that you're buying from other growers. It's here in the dashboard, and we're also adding at this moment to some of the different the statistic reports as well. We've made some change to the clock lots overview over here. It's especially for a pilot that has been used at Royal Flora Holland. There has been for some period it was possible to sell all 100% of your clock lot for pre-sale. Standard is 50%. You can a maximum of 50% can be sold by pre-sale. But the Royal Front has done a pilot the last months for a few auction groups, for a few product groups, where it was possible to set 100% for pre-sale, and that had some extra effect. That in this overview over here, the clock lots overview, it's also possible that that you see only pre-sale lots, and if a lot was sold for 100% by pre-sale, it was not visible in this overview. And there's an extra addition if the pre-sales is already done for the next day. You can also get directly an overview of everything what is sold by pre-sale. So there's some extra value that, for example, early in the morning or for the end of the afternoon of in the evening, you can already see what the pre-sale sellings are for the next auction day. We've created that in the last months. The same adjustments have been made to the daily report. It's not very much changed recently, but also here it's possible that some lots are completely sold by pre-sales, and it is also displayed in a slightly different way over here. Yeah, I can make some reports if there are any questions about it. And this is the market view. The market view, yeah, we've made some additions with the filter that has been more easy to use, and we have done a lot of work here to make this overview, market view, faster. We get some feedback from growers that is sometimes it's very slow or didn't give a result in acceptable time. So we have done lots of things to make this overview, market view, faster as it was. I get a question in the chat from Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. My dashboard looks different. That's correct. The dashboard can be changed for every individual user on every different device. In every widget, every block of information, you can see here an arrow and a minus sign. With the arrow, you can change the position of an overview. For example, if I check on revenue and put it one position down, it goes to another position. I can put it here and another overview. You can change the order in which these are shown. And if I check the minus screen, it is hidden. This is the direct sales overview. There are no direct sales for this grower. So if I press on this minus button, this overview is hidden. I can also do this for the correction overview, for example, or for this graphic. And so you can create your own personal dashboard with all the things that you will see. For everything what is hidden, this orange plus button on the right bottom is shown. With this button, if you click on it, you can see every overview that has been hidden. I just the direct sales, for example, of the purchase transactions I mentioned earlier. This demo, the total amount of buyers, and if I click on it, that's shown again. This is the total amount of buyers for the actual auction day, and here you can see it. And if you want to change the position, for example, to the top of the screen, you can change the order with these two arrow buttons. The settings for this dashboard are device dependent. So on every device you log on, for example, if you use it on your smartphone and on a computer or on a laptop, these settings are for each device specifically saved. And the reason why is that we think that if you use a smartphone, you have another interest at this moment, other things that you want to know. If you're sitting behind your desk or behind your computer, you have a larger screen, so you get other overviews. And sometimes within when you're at work, you're walking around the farm, or I don't know, you're anywhere where you are, but you use your smartphone. You can get a very quick overview of all your sellings and results. But if you're on your desktop, most of the times you can do more analysis in a more detailed way. Is that enough answer for you, Daniel, or was it something different you meant with your question?
Thank you very much. It's okay now. I have seen what was hidden, so it's good now. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Is there any other specific question or a question you have how to find some kind of information, some kind of overview of how you can create a report? You can unmute yourself and ask me the question, or you can use the chat function to fill in your question. If there aren't any questions at this moment, maybe I can also show some of the opportunities we can do with the reports, of the statistic reports. We heard the most of the questions we receive at the customer services are about specific questions, how you can see some information for your customers or your products you're selling, or all kinds of these things. So I will give a short demo if there aren't any specific questions at this moment about some different report types we have. With the plus button, you can create some reports, and there are some specific report templates you can use. For example, the first one is a product overview. If you go with your mouse over, you get a short description what kind of a type it is for reports. I'll give a report a name, for demo product. I can create it. Most of the reports have the same working. The results can be different. What you see in the table and in the graphic, but the filter is always shown here at the left side of the screen. If you have a smaller overview, if I make my screen lower, you will see it here with this button, the filter button, and you can pop up your filter. But I will resize my screen again. If my size is, if my screen has a resolution that is big enough, it's always shown here on the left. At the right top, you can always save the daytime selection you want to create a report for. There are lots of default of standard time periods, daytime periods. Today, yesterday, current week, and these are relative periods. The current year at this moment is 2024. But if you create a report and you set current year, in the next year it will automatically change to 25. And it's also for previous month. If I select the previous month, this will show the data for September from the 1st to the end of September. And save as a relative date is meaning if I select this, it's a relative. So if we go to November, it will show the month of October. And if I turn this off, at this moment it remains the same. But now it's not a relative date anymore. This is always will be September 24 if I don't change it. But this is the easiest way. Within this overview, you get an overview of all the different products that are sold. These lots of kinds of different products for this number. I will make it a little bit easier by, for example, set a filter on rose large flowered. And if I apply this, the filter I'm using will be shown over here. And now only all roses are shown that have been sold with this number. You can see your own number of pieces, the revenue, the average, the clock average. That is the average that has the average price for the whole product at the clock for this period. So the time period at this moment is September. So the average price for these rose Heidi is 32 cents, 32 and 1 cent. And the number of pieces is 1 million in September. A little bit more than 1 million. The number of pieces aren't shown always. They're only shown if there are more than 3 different growers who are producing this product. And that can be shown over here with this information. Pop-up pieces will only be shown if there are at least 3 growers selling the product. And it's always for the selected time period selected over here. What's quite nice in this overview, you can click on a specific product and you also see the number, all the different buyers who have been buying your product. Now for this grow, most of the time it will be only one. These are all very small ones, but you can see that over here. And this is some extra changes you can do to this overview, is that you can select an extra column. For example, if I do the minimum length, the length of the roses, it will add a column, and you can see exactly also if you deliver a product with different lengths, you can see the same information done for each individual length, minimum length of the products. I've created a filter now on a product group, but I can also set I want to just see my clock sales and pre-sales, for example. You can select a specific location. But you can also select, for example, a customer. If I want to see, hey, I want to see what products did a specific customer bought, you can select it over here. And for buyers, others maybe, I don't know if everyone has noticed it, but in the current year, we also changed this filter. In the past, you could only select the buyer's administration number. But to make it a little bit easier, we have also added an option to filter on a holding. For example, Fleur and Metz, the Dutch flower group, they have lots of different administration numbers, buyer numbers. And if you want to see everything from, for example, Waterdrink in Alsmere, you had to select sometimes 10 or 20 different numbers. But now it's easy. For example, for this buyer, you select this buyer, you press the apply button, and the filter is also added over here. And you can see directly from this buyer, A Heemskerk the holding, has both some clock and pre-sale, and this is the number of pieces they have been selling. If you want to remove a filter, you can directly go to these things, you don't have to do it over here. It's also possible that you deselect here. You can also press here the X button and the filter is removed. And automatically the screen is refreshing. And this is, for example, a product demo. There's always an icon that is giving information what type of report you've created. These are all other reports that have been created by colleagues of mine. And you can add as much reports as you like. But also a very used, a lot of growers use is the revenue report. This by default it's showing the previous 3 years for all the complete for year 22, 23, 24. You can see it here in a graphic for each week, the number of pieces, the average price, and all these kinds of examples. And in the table, you can see directly for each week what has been the revenue this year and the number of pieces, average price, and comparing with the previous years. And if the numbers are red, it is lower as the year before. For example, in the week 13, 299 euros. And in the year before, it was 90.45. This was less. So if it's the revenue is higher than the year before, it's shown in black. And if it's lower, it's our red numbers. This report, by default, it has no filter, so you see all your selling results, but also over here you can use all different kinds of filters. And what can be very useful, if you don't select on product group, but for example, I go again to my customer overview and I say I want to see it for a specific buyer. And if I press the apply button, you can directly see for this specific buyer, Star van der Guchte, what he has been buying in which week. And so you can get exactly follow the customer, what he's doing every week, what for average price he's using, what he has the price where he has bought his products from your growers, and you can exactly see from, hey, is he buying more or less than the previous year? And that can be very interesting. If sometimes a new customer is buying a lot more than you expect, or he's some completely new for you, you can trace it over here. But also if an existing customer who is where you're used to that he's buying every week, maybe yeah, for quite a lot of products of you as a grower, you can see even, hey, the recent weeks he's not buying enough from me anymore, and then it's very good. Could be a reason to contact the local office in Kenya for, hey, can we contact this buyer? For example, to have a discussion, is there something wrong with my products? Why does he, well, what's the issue? Maybe there is a quality issue, you never know, but it's always good to contact the buyer. Well, maybe if after a contact of there is some miscommunication or whatever, if it can be solved, maybe he can buy again more of your products. Is something about the revenue overview. Another overview what has been used quite a lot is the product history. Demo. There's a combination of a product and the revenue overview. So you can see the revenue per week for each individual product, and you can see the development of your different products that you are selling. It's also by default showing the previous years. But now you don't see it here in the graphic for each week. You can see all your products. To make it a little bit more easier to use, I also add a filter for roses. Now you can see this grower, it's not a very one, he's buying for 1,000 euros a year. Not very much, but here you can see exactly for each rose, for the current year 24, he's selling this for the same period last year. This is the same starting week and end week. It's year to date. What is he using over here? He's showing the same results for the year before also. But was also very interesting. This is the revenue for the grower for this year, 224 euros. And this is the revenue for the whole auction. You can also see what your market share is within each product. But this is only for clock information. What you see the auction revenue. But so you can see exactly, hey, well, what's my market share? Is my share growing or is it coming lower as previous years? And you can see the development of all your different products. Didn't mention it so far, but what is always possible in each, now almost each graphic, is that you can download the information. And if you download it, it will create a CSV file which you can use to import it in Excel. And for the correct export in Excel, I see you have a question, Alice. I will ask you again if I will finish this. For the CSV export, this is very important that you use the right settings, because it's depending of the local settings in your Excel. If it can open these if it can recognize the export as a good Excel file. If it isn't, it will put everything in one column and you can't easily read it. But sometimes you have to change the decimal separator to a point. This is more the international notation. You can use the column separator, and if you set it to comma and that's the point, and the date time to English, for example, if you change it to this, it will easily also make it possible to import an Excel in an English Excel version. Alice, please, your question. I saw you had your thumb raised. Your digital thumb. What was your question about the export in CSV files? And I already answered it. If you have the question, please interrupt me. It's if you use your thumb, and I will try to let you ask the questions here in the group. And it's also possible to type it in the chat channel. Okay. Another specific report type, and I think it's the most complicated one, is the custom report.
I have a question, Rolly.
Yes, very good. Please.
Under product history.
Yes.
On the revenues, maybe you can just open so I can open
this
here.
one.
So I have it's loading. Yes. When I open on my side,
Yes.
the revenue part, is it the revenue? Because the revenue part doesn't seem to tie with probably what we have. It could probably, there could be a difference, but when you say auction, is it the entire auction, or it's a specific, as all the locations in the auction, or it's a specific auction where I normally participate?
This
my
is
products are normally sold.
The grower is all your personal sellings for your personally.
Yes.
So it's we don't have a filter on the sales method, so it is also direct.
Yes.
The auction is only clock and pre-sale. This is without direct sellings. So
for the entire, yeah.
Yes, so if you want to say, hey, I just want to compare my clock sellings with the auction number, then you can add here the clock and pre-sale as filter. And if I apply this, the number at the auction will remain the same. It's still 91 million. Yeah, this is not changed as well, because this buyer is only using clock. But if you set this filter for clock and pre-sale, then your personal revenue and number of pieces and average price is only calculated on your clock and pre-sale settings.
Okay, and if I wanted to see the entire of the auction sales, where would I need to go to?
Sorry, Dan?
If I wanted to see 100% of the auction sales, of course, not drilling down different growers, but just how the auction, the value of the entire auction, where would I need to go?
If you just want to see for example, for roses, all
Yes.
the rose products and all the price for FVOs, also maybe some products that you're done selling for yourself, then you can
Yes.
use the market view overview. All the statistics reports are always based on your personal settings compared with settings at Royal Flora Holland. But if you go to market view,
Okay.
and I can also set, for example, the fills or rose large flowered. This is for the actual day. It gives an impression of what the actual prices are. But here in this overview, you can also choose the current year. It will have some extra time to calculate. I hope it's working fast enough. The graphic is already over here. This is what you see here in the graphic. I can already show that is the average price for all roses combined, and for the three largest products. The largest is in overall revenue per week. And the
Okay.
graphic that is loading will show the complete revenue for the whole year for each product. There it is. And now I can see for rose large fruit, average price, highest price. So it's very expensive, 85 euros. And these are the total number of pieces supplied for the current year so far. This is
And
1
of the
billion,
entire auction. Okay. I
entire
understand.
auction,
Yes.
yes. And that is, this is clock. The direct pieces
Yes.
are 800 million.
Yes.
The total number of pieces for direct are also shown over here. And you can see for
Yes.
each location how much it was.
Okay. And then down there is for variety, I guess.
Yes, and this is for each variety, yes. And these are all the varieties that are used. And you can, if you
Okay.
like it, you can set a filter specifically for I want to see a specific product.
Okay. Okay. I think it's clear now. Thank you very much.
Yes,
I'll
okay,
try to
Daniel.
do that on my computer.
Yes. For the question from Alice, who had a malfunction in the microphone. It's on strike. Protocol history, are we able to get the data grouped in a weekly form? Yes. If you want a weekly overview, there are two specific reports which they can do. The first one is the revenue demo, but this is not giving an overview for each product. You can just use it for an individual product. In this example, I used Van de Gucht Rijnsburg, but you can also select a specific product and you can see exactly for each week what the product revenue is. If you want to see different products, there are some other opportunities. There is the time period compare. Demo time period. For example, also the current year to start with. This is showing a toggle option to do this per day or per week. I'll choose the week. And this is also giving a revenue each individual week. It's not showing a drill down on products, but that's the next thing I'm going to show. You can see also the revenue for each week, and you compare it, if you like, with a previous year. So this was from January 1st this year, but if I say, hey, I want to compare it with another year, you can also select what can be faster, 23, October, January, 1st. But what is easier here, and now I can comparing to exactly years with the same start date, you can see the development. But sometimes for specific products or for specific holidays that are differing in time, for example, the Easter and these specific days are every year in different weeks. You can also change the start date to compare with. And if I, for example, remove this one and I say, hey, this is current year, but I want to compare it not starting from January 1st, but from another period. So I want to start in February 1st. It's possible. It's a bit strange, but I'm comparing now the weeks in 24 starting in January, and I'm comparing it for each week starting in February for data from 2022. And you can see that overview from what was the week for starting in January compared with the week at the end of January. So you can do what you like with this and use all different starting points to compare specific periods. It can be used, for example, with Valentine's Day. And the day is the week what is Valentine can change in time depending on the calendar. You compare exactly the same period to Valentine, for example, the last 7 days before February 14th. You can compare easily with this overview. But to go back to the original question of Alice, I'm going to the custom report overview because I think that it is the most easy to do this in this overview. I'm selecting always on the same time the current year as default time period. This report, it's the most complicated one because if you open it, it shows nothing. You have to add everything for yourself what you want to see, and you can add data sets over here. And if I add a data set, and now I want to create a data set for some specific flowers. Again, I'm using roses. And I say, hey, I want to, for example, the aqua. I'll give a name to his data set. And here's the name. I can make a specific color. I don't know what the color is for aqua, but if I say for name, maybe it's choose color. It's a little bit, it seems blue, but the blue rose is a bit strange, but doesn't matter. I have a blue rose. And these are all the filters that are used. All type of transaction, clock contract direct pre-sale. So it's combining every kind of revenue for yourself for this. And all type of orders is the default. And if I save this, I can get exactly, it's only sold in 1 week, in this week 11. But you can see exactly for this product, in what week was this revenue created. And if I create a second data set, I can go again to the product filter and I can choose another product. For example, avalanche. Change the name, choose a color. A little bit, just not white. I don't know if it's the exact color. Something like this. It's not very, a little bit contrasting, but now I can see aqua and avalanche. And so if, for example, if you have 10 different types of roses, you can create a data set for each different rose, and it will here compare this revenue in this report. It's a way to very easily customize your personal reports. It has some extra functionality because what also is possible for, hey, this is my avalanche revenue. But I can also add some extra information to it. I want to also see the avalanche revenue at the whole auction of Floraland. And again, I can go to the same filter. I see, hey, I want to see avalanche for the whole Floraland. Here it is. This is the avalanche is a filter. You can also combine two different. If say I want the combination of avalanche peach and just the regular avalanche, it's also possible. But now I only use avalanche plus, and this is avalanche RFH. But I have here some other filter option. I go to data auction wide and the method of sales. And I can see I want to see the data auction-wide. I want to see it just for clock sales and clock pre-sales. You can also say, for example, see the difference between the clock average and the pre-sale orders by creating different ones. I will make an example after this one with that information. I can set the settlement organization, Valoria for Holland, and save. And I see these were my personal avalanche settings, 126 euros. And this is the avalanche settings for the product over the whole auction. The 70 million, 39,000 pieces, or 39 million pieces, the average price, and the percentage not sold. And you can see that in this table for each different week. And this table can be downloaded if you like to use it in Excel or in your own reports. Yeah, what can be, I'll make it myself a little bit easier. I go to the last one and I say this one I'm going to copy, make a second one, say copy exactly the same information, same numbers, but I'll change the second one. I will edit this one and I'll say, no, this is not avalanche RFH, but this is only pre-sales. I have to change the filter because now it was clock and pre-sale, but if I remove this and I'll save it, and it will show all the pre-sales from avalanche auction-wide. And if I change this one to clock, I can exactly see the difference between the price per week for clock and for pre-sales. And I change this to just clock filter. You can always check what is all the orders that are here used for. And now you see from the clock is 50 million, pre-sales is 1.7 million. And you can see exactly the difference in price between clock sellings for avalanche and for pre-sales. Now I've done this for the whole auction, but of course you can always do it for your personal data as well. For example, to compare each different selling channel, each of a direct or clock or pre-sales, that you can see for each product per week from what's the difference in revenue and the difference in average price. The expected average price of pre-sales is most of the time a little bit higher than the price on the clock. And here you can exactly see the red is the pre-sales. Most of the times it is, but sometimes, for example, over here is the pre-sale price. The difference is very, very small, but almost every week the average price is a little bit higher than the price at the clock. And if this is clock all for Holland, all different locations, but if I see, yeah, but I am just using, for example, Alsmeer as location. You can also edit again and say, I don't want to see it RFA clock, but only in Alsmeer. I'll add it to the description. I go to the filter options. I can't select Alsmeer. Yeah, that's because this grower isn't using Alsmeer. Now goed, we make Rijnsburg of it. So it's not Alsmeer, maar Rijnsburg. Save. And I also change this one, pre-sales also, this filter to Rijnsburg. Rijnsburg. Set a filter on it. And you can see here the overview of all the active filters for this data set. And I change it. And now I have the overview for Rijnsburg, so it's 267,000 euros and 2.1 million. And else, in this way, to come back to your question, you can create an overview if you want to see the difference between your different products per week. But it's also have displayed some extra options to create insights in the average prices of specific products or on specific locations. And yeah, because you have the full options to filter anything what's available in the transaction database, you create almost any report you like with it. based on everything what is here in this filter. Any other questions? If this is not exactly what you're looking for, Alice, I'd like to hear it as well. Perfect. Yes. What we have also is a cultivation overview. I see a question coming from Daniel, but I will always start this. This is almost similar as the overview as custom, but also with some extra functionality added to it. Always created already. And wait a moment until Daniel has asked his question in the chat. Very good. Is there a way you can tell the origin of the flowers, Kenya, Ethiopia, etc.? Yes, there is. It's in every filter, basically, but there is it's a small thing you need to know about it because it's not at this moment 100% reliable. And I will explain that. In the default filter set, I've opened the product overview we created earlier. There is an opportunity to, I will, with all the other filter options. For example, you can select here the colors, and here you can see the country of origin. And if I check on NL, or in this example, Kenya, it's more for you as an example, you can directly set the filter on Kenya. And this is not very much data, but the same option is also in market view. In market view, we earlier created an overview for large roses, large flowered. But also over here, there's the other overview. And is it possible? Here are all the countries roses are coming from. Somewhere is Kenya. There it is. So if I filter here on Kenya, and I will apply. Let's do some calculations. Quite a lot, large data set, because lots of roses are coming from Kenya. It's already loading. Here the auction of pieces supplied are available. Small disclaimer, it is a little bit dependent of the country of origin that is sent within your Floriday trade item. If you're using Floriday, it's very important that in your trade item, the country of origin is also set. If it isn't set correctly, it won't set the country of origin. So it's not completely automatically. And that's the disclaimer. So it's not 100% reliable, because if a grower is using Floriday but is not setting the current country of origin in his trade item settings with his catalog, then it doesn't work correctly. Always. Sometimes it does for clock, but not for direct sales, because I don't know exactly what it was, but then is it possible that it's not completely. But if we go back to the earlier overview, to the statistics overview, you can also compare, if you like, hey, I want to compare my results, what we did earlier in that, where is it, the custom report. We compared Avalanche and Aqua with Rijnsburg pre-sales and clock pre-sales. I can also so van, I want to remove this one. And this one I'm going to change, because I don't want to see the average clock prices at clock Rijnsburg, but I want to see it for a specific country. Avalanche RFA clock Kenya. And also over here, there is somewhere in the other options, country of origin, and I can select Kenya as well as a filter option. Dus now I have not the avalanches of other countries, but only specifically for Kenya. And if I say from, hey, okay, Kenya and for example Ethiopia, I want to select as well, it's also possible. You don't see that over here because the data that I have is just only providing these countries. Yeah, now it's showing no information. I'm not the rose expert, but it could be that avalanches aren't sold in Kenya. I can check it by using another product, what it definitely is. Athena, for example. Slice flowered. I check Athena and not avalanche. I hope this will work. Yes. And this is just in Kenya. This is the filter, block, Royal for Holland, Rauwe Rijnsburg cylinder filter, Athena, etc. So it's not completely correct. Oh, that's what went wrong, I think. I didn't remove the Rijnsburg filter in the earlier one. There are no avalanches sold from Kenya in Rijnsburg. It could be in Alsmeer, but that was not in my filter. If I remove this one, it will show a lot more. Now it's 40 million. In Rijnsburg was only 500,000. And it's not avalanche, it's showing here in the text, but in the filter I set Athena. And now I can check if avalanche is sold from Kenya. So I'll change the filter again to avalanche and remove this one, save it. No, also not from other countries, but this is the disclaimer. It could be that a grower from Kenya that is using avalanche has not set the country of origin correctly in Floriday, and then it won't show the data. I hope that this answered your question, Daniel. Dus in every overview, you can use a filter on country of origin. If you want a comparison to different countries, you can create a custom report and compare your data. That's also well nice to know, I think. In this overview, I have here a filter for Kenya created in the over here, but you can also add a column with the country of origin. I will show that over here. If I remove this filter from Kenya, I will change the time period because if at current year it's a little bit slow, dus if I use the previous month, it's a little bit faster. The time period is a lot smaller. So in the demo, it will work a little bit faster. But if I go to the settings from this market view, this in this gear wheel, if you see this gear, you can always check on it. It gives extra options for the overview you are seeing. With the market view, yes. Country of origin can also be shown as an extra column. So if I select this, and I go back to this market view, it will show for every variety exactly from what countries the prices are for each different country. You see it here, and now you can see also sometimes that there isn't a country. That's what I already mentioned as a disclaimer. It's not always working correctly. But here, for example, for Ace Pink, you see for Kenya, average price Ethiopia, average price for Netherlands. And you can see for all kinds of different products. Alphas, they also, as we grow from Germany. And you can see all the different growers. These are roses from Ecuador, Amnesia. You can see the difference in the price between an Amnesia rose from Ecuador and from oh, this is the other sort. No, this is not set over here. And for example, for Aqua from Ethiopia, Belgium, Kenya, and the Netherlands, you see the average price. Yes, if there aren't any questions about this, oh, Daniel is typing. I'll wait a moment for it. Was me a pleasure, Daniel. I've just one report overview I'd like to share with you. I already started it. It was the demo cultivation report, this one. The cultivation report, it looks a little bit the same as the previous one, the custom one. So already you have to create your own custom data sets. But with these data sets, you can check for example per variety what the revenue per square meter is. I'll give an example. You can set some cultivation information. For example, I have I don't know 1,000 pieces. This is in 500 square meters. The expected number of pieces I'm selling. That's roses, so maybe I have 5 times a year I cut the flowers. Don't know, 5,000. And my expected revenue, I expect my revenue expectation is 15,000 euros. Just some random numbers. Set it over here, and I create this my own product. Don't know what product I'm going to choose. I go again to the filter. This is the extra thing comparing to the previous overview. But if I go to the product overview, I can see all the different roses. I'll make it easy for myself. I'm selecting the rose large flowered as a group instead of an individual product, because the individual products are all very large different types and different kinds. You can see it over here. So I select them all and I say save. What do I see over here? My own product, 1,000 pieces, 670 supplied for this previous month. Maybe I do this current year, a little bit more data. Yes, 1,000 pieces, 10,000 supplied, not sold 10%, supplied piece supplied shared by piece planted is 9.7. This is supplied divided by the number of pieces planted. Square meters, revenue per square meter. So it's calculating automatically some kinds of measures. And if you compare this with another product, and I say here 2,000 and the square meters 750. Expected pieces 15,000. Expected value 25,000. And I set a different, my other product, I will call this my other product. Go to the product overview and I said this is for the Grisante. And now you can see you can compare the square meter revenue for all the different products. So you set some information for yourself, the total square meters or the number of plants or anything you like. And you can see exactly from, hey, this is my own product, this is my other one, the Grisante. And you can see the Grisante with these numbers, the revenue per square meter is €1.56, and for roses it's 3.27. And also, because you can work with expected number of pieces and expected revenue, you can also see from, hey, what is my total revenue at this moment? I expected, what was it, 25,000 for my other product. My realization is 1.7 thousand, 1.1. So all my ratio revenue at this moment is 5%. It's not much, but I only have realized 5% of my total revenue I expected for the time period. And this is shown here in a graphic. I have not only 2 products, but for example, if you have 10 different products, you know what the square meters is or the number of plants you have, you can fill it in and you can see the revenue for each different sort. And you see it also with combination per month, if you like, in a detailed table. It's the cultivation report. It can be used there in this, like in this demo, for the individual products. But also sometimes we have growers that use different administration numbers, and they can make a report per administration number, or different locations. And if you work at different locations, you can use sometimes some additional codes to see the difference. For example, by the service code that is used. But it's depending on how the data is delivered. Any other questions? If there are not any questions, I can also tell something about the roadmap we're using for the further development of insights. What we are doing at this moment is working on the purchase orders in all report types. At this moment, it's only added to the custom report and the cultivation report you can use with purchase. And we also gonna add that to the statistic report types. And we're working, and it's something that will be, I think, live somewhere in the next year, is to some more Floriday specific information about the selling channels, the trade instruments used in Floriday, so that you can get more an overview of what kind of selling instruments are used in Floriday for all my lots that I'm selling. And it's also very interesting in the coming changes at Floriland for more day trade, pre-sales, and all kinds of different ways Floriday is used to do these sellings, and that will also be added in an overview within Insights. And we always have our a bucket list of user demands. Every month we get several questions from, hey, maybe this can be interesting. Can you also create a filter on this option or drill down on that? And we add them always to the backlog. We discuss them with the team if an individual question of a grower can also be interesting for other growers. And if we think, hey, this is something interesting, this grower is also very interesting and can be very helpful for other growers, and then we make an estimation of the amount of work for that functionality. And most of the times we're going to add that functionality as well to improve insights and to make it more easier to work with. That's all I want to show in the demo. Hubert, are you still driving or already arrived in Nairobi at the moment?
Martin, I'm still on the road.
It's a large country, Kenya.
Yeah.
I don't know if some of your people are also joining the trade fair in 2 weeks. It is, in 2 weeks, yes. I don't have I'm not permanently available at the trade fair, but if there are any growers who want to discuss or have some personal questions for their own company, yes, something from, hey, I have a report, and can you check how I can improve my report? You can always make an appointment with the local office. They will contact me, and we can meet at the trade fair at a certain moment of time.
Yeah. Thanks, Martin. I think you've covered and answered most of the questions and concerns that the growers had. Unless there is any burning question or there is anything that is not clear, then I think they can raise it with us.
Yes.
Or then we can channel it to you. But again,
Yes,
thank you,
yes.
Martin, for your time. Yeah.
Yes, if you have anything specific question and it's too hard to create it, or it is just not the report you think you can use, it's always possible to contact Iber or someone else at the local office. They will have a contact, and we can help to improve your, or maybe it's something that's not possible at this moment, and we can check, hey, this is a very valuable addition to Insights, and we can add it to the functionality. It's also possible. Yes, thank you, Ruthie. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for the applause, Ellen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the video, it's saved automatically. I think you can just share it with all the attendants, Hubert.
Yes, I'll download it and share. Though
Good.
also, if you go to the link for all growers who are there, you can click on the link and download it automatically. So I'll still share it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I think we don't have any question. Thanks, Martin.
Yes, it was
Hope to
me
speak
really a
to you
pleasure.
soon.
I like to
Yeah.
show everything is possible, and yes, very yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we'll have to call it off. And yeah, thanks for now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, have a nice day, and yeah, maybe we'll meet somewhere in the trade fair or another moment on time. Thank you
Yeah,
very
sure.
much.
Sure. Thanks. Bye.
Yes, bye bye.